Cheers everyone, I made it to my third campsite on this trip. I'm drinking Estrella Damm, by the way, so in case you're interested in what beverage I'm drinking, there it is. So cheers everyone, I made it to the third and final campsite of the week. Perfect. So for those of you who haven't watched the previous two videos, this is a triple header. By that I mean I left home, I visited one campsite called Middle Hills Farm Campsite. That was on Monday. On Tuesday I then went to Hankin Farm Campsite. Went there yesterday, stayed overnight, and now I'm at Burrs Manor Wild Camping. 3 campsites in the space of a week, 3 different scenes to wake up to, and oh wow, it's been such an amazing week. I've done a double header before, and I still remember that, what, 6 years later. It's absolutely incredible, and it's nice to be able to see a little bit more of the countryside. I'm just touring, but to me it's a challenge, and also indeed making these videos is a bit of a challenge as well, and trying to make sure the fact that I've got enough power in my power banks to charge both my phone and my camera and my microphone. But I met some really wonderful people. There was 2 ladies that I met at Middle Hills Farm Campsite. I didn't catch their names. Then I went to Hankin Farm, met a lovely lady down there called Kelly, who's first time camping. And then today, I've only been pitched up a couple of hours, but there's a young lad. He's got a teepee next door, and got chatting to him. Ever such a nice lad. And he said to me, he said, you know what, mate? He said, this place is absolutely awesome. He said, you've got the weather, you've got the views, and you've got toilet block, and you've got the field. He says, what more could you really want? And you know what? He was so right on that. The scenery here is just drop dead gorgeous. I mean, I love mountains. I love the Lake District. I've been to the Peak District a few times. In fact, this week I probably almost doubled the amount of times I've been to the Peak District. But I do love mountains, mountain views. I do like the occasional beach as well, but yeah, this is great for me. This is, give me a good scenery to open the door up to in the morning, and some half decent weather at least, and I'm happy. And yeah, I'm going to drink to that. So cheers everyone, my first ever triple header camp trip. That's nice. These views, absolutely stunning. It's 8:30 at night. My final night after 3 nights camping at 3 different campsites, 3 different tents. Same awning for this trip and for the last one at Hankin Farm. This awning is an absolute godsend, especially if you've got the 2-person version, which I used at Hankin Farm yesterday, because the tent really is very, very tiny. And for me, when I have to set a camera up on a tripod and then talk, you need a little bit of space, you know. There's at least, what, just over an arm's length. In a tent like that, it's very restrictive. So there has been challenges on this trip for sure, but I'm just kind of reflecting on the last 3 days, and it has been absolutely wonderful. It's made me realise how much I love camping and what it does to me. It de-stresses me straight away. Any stress that I've got, Not that I'm a very stressful person. I'm not the sort of person that gets angry. I think anger is just like, it just eats away at you. Just get rid of it. It doesn't matter. And I'm not the sort of person to hold grudges or anything like that. But it's just the mundane of everyday life that can drag you down. And this kind of picks me up again. It's like, yeah, great. And also as well, time away from your friends, your family. My dog Bella, when you spend 3 or 4 days, or any amount of time I suppose, away from those people, you realise who or what you miss and what you don't. And it gives you perspective, a fresh perspective on life. And I know it's only been 3 days, but it's been 3 absolutely wonderful days. And I'm so glad the fact I finished it here with this rolling landscape, this beautiful scenery that's starting to get covered in longer shadows as the sun slowly sets. It's been wonderful. So, I think after a successful trip, I'm going to drink to that. Yes, I know I had a beer earlier. I'm on holiday. So the plan is for tonight is just to kind of chill out and just enjoy, savour every moment. Today in the midday sun, it was really hot. So once I set the tent up, it was a case of just lie on the bed for a while. The Quechua Fresh and Black is just like, it's still warm in there. It's not like walking into a fridge. No, it's not magic. But it's definitely a lot cooler than other manufacturers have that just give you a blackout bedroom and a dark exterior. I know I talk a lot about Fresh and Black technology, but for me really it is a game changer for campsite camping, where predominantly you go to a campsite in the hotter months, you want a tent that if it's got blackout bedrooms is going to keep you cool. And that's it. That's all I'm going to say. We're going to draw a line. I'm not going to talk about Fresh and Black technology for at least 2 seconds. All right, 2 months. All right, a year. But no, I've really enjoyed this trip. I've realised what I've missed, what I haven't. It's given me that fresh perspective again. And it's made me realise just how much I need camping in my life. How I need to get away occasionally, just by myself. Just to kind of detox from everyday mundane life of getting up at stupid o'clock, which for me is like, yeah, you don't want to know. And going to work. And getting away from this modern day world that we've created for ourselves. Coming to places like this and watching the sunset and listening to the bird song, it's just absolutely incredible. This is where my heart belongs, in the world of camping, sleeping under the stars. And yeah, there are times where it's pouring down with rain, it's like, ugh. But you've got to take the rough with the smooth. And when it's like this, that's the magic part. That's the real magic part. Tomorrow, I'm going to pack down the tent. Because of that road is kind of like very potholey and rocky and bumpy. And it's like, oh, did I just lose my exhaust? No. And obviously I've had these, so I'm not going to go driving now. And obviously now at 8:30, the shop's going to be closed. So tomorrow, once I pack down, I'll leave here and I'm going to go to Buxton. And I'm going to leave you with those images around Buxton. Famous for its spring water, you know. Buxton spring water. Who knew? A lot of people. I'll go to Buxton. I'll leave you with those images tomorrow once I pack down. And then head off home and see my little girl, my little 5-year-old working Cocker Spaniel called Bella. Yeah. I used to be petrified of dogs years ago. I used to be absolutely petrified of dogs. Now I couldn't imagine my life without one. The unconditional love they give, and if you got a dog, you know, they're just wonderful, wonderful, intelligent animals. Anyway, going off topic, Fresh and Black technology, have you heard about it? Gotcha. Cheers, everyone. I'll see you a little bit later when I go in the tent and go to sleep, and then pretend to go to sleep and then have to turn the camera off, because obviously that's how making videos works. I know, that's just ruined the magic, isn't it? I don't know. I'm not going to be like a bear with a sore head in the morning, I can promise you that. I'm just going to admire that sunset. Oh, it's blinding. Well folks, it's just come up to 11:15 at night. It's 10:42 by my phone. I'm in the Quechua 2 seconds easy fresh and black 3-person with the fresh awning, and this ladies and gentlemen is my favourite tent of all time, and I've been camping for quite a few years. I've even, because tonight is my last night, I've even put fairy lights up. Fairy lights in my tent. I turn off all the lights, which I will do in a little while, because obviously then the face track on the camera will just go. But this is my last leg of this trip, and I thought I would use this tent because I knew it was going to be good. I used this at the Manor Farm Campsite, and I was like, yeah, this is really good. This ticks all the boxes for me. And the reason why I say that is because I know it's a 3-person tent, but it's easy to set up. Literally pull a couple of cords, put a few pegs in, job done. Put the awning on, bit more tricky. Trying to hook it onto the tent, and yeah, but it's no great shakes, you know. But this setup, the Quechua 2 seconds easy, fresh and black, 3-person with the fresh awning is just, I can't see how it can get much better unless they make the awning like where that pops up as well. But yeah, I've had a lot of tents. I've got 16 tents, and this is right at the very top. Now for me, as somebody who makes videos, I'm talking to you via the media of having a camera and obviously a microphone. Obviously it's late at night. I'm trying to be respectful. Now this tent is just, this combination of the tent and the awning, I can barely pick any fault. I really cannot. Even the guy next door in the TP, I said to him about the fact that, you know, you pull a couple of cords and it pops on, and he says, oh yeah, it's really good. Do you know what, for a young lad, he had his head screwed right on. Anyway, it's late. I'm going to bed, so I'm going to say goodnight, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night. That is one seriously delicious cup of coffee. Good morning, everybody. I don't know what time it is. It's got to be around about 7, 7:30. I slept okay last night. I wouldn't say it was the best night's sleep of the trip because we got lots of planes flying over. But that aside, the bed was comfortable. The tent was perfect size for me. Granted, it's not for everybody, but for me, it is perfect. And then just to top it off with waking up to this weather. I have been fortunate with the weather this week, that is for certain. The weather, you are kind of in the lap of the gods, really, aren't you? You know, you can go to a location and the heavens can open, it can pour a rain, and you can't do anything, and that's part of camping, really. That's part and parcel of it, and I've been lucky in that respect. It doesn't diminish these stunning landscapes to wake up to. That is just chef's kiss. I really have enjoyed this week, and it's been wonderful. It's a shame I have to move on every day to the next one, but that's part of the challenge. That's part of the trip that I decided. I think in future what I would probably do is do 4 campsites, but do it every 2 days. That definitely makes sense. I was thinking about that last night. I even said last night that seems like a good idea. But obviously then I'd probably bring Bella then, but I'd probably come at a time of the year that is not so hot. So we shall see. The reason for that is the fact that I want to bring Bella. I don't want her just to live where she lives. I want to see more of this world, you know. We're only here for a short time, and dogs especially, and I don't want to just see the same places day after day for the rest of her life. I'm sad to be going home today, but the plan for today is quite simply have this cup of coffee, pack the gear down, pack it into the car, leave the campsite, and then visit the village of Buxton, famous for its spring water, and then head home. Anyway, cheers everyone. Another great feature of this particular tent is the fact that it's freestanding. By that I mean you empty the tent of all its contents, get it into your car or whatever vehicle you're using, and then take all the pegs out, and then you can actually pick it up and move it, and it's still standing up, hence the reason freestanding. Now the reason why I've done that is because this side had the sun on it. As the sun is now rising, this side was bone dry. The other side that was in shade, that still had moisture on it, condensation. So the reason why I picked it up is obviously to dry this side. I want this tent to be bone dry, so the fact that I know that there's not going to be any moisture on it, which means that when I pack it away and then store it away for a while, there's not going to be any mold on there growing. It's going to be smelly and horrible. So yeah, a little bit like the awning in a way, but for that there was quite a lot of moisture on there, so I would rather stick that on a washing line, and that is far easier to dry, whereas this one's got the framework built into the fly sheet. The awning is far easier to dry on a washing line than this one is particularly. And I say weather's on my side, so yeah, just let nature take its course and leave it for about 15-20 minutes. In the meantime, I'm just going to admire the views. Okay, tent's dry. I used a cloth just to speed it up as well. Not to say the fact the underside won't be wet, but I can't really do anything about that at the moment. Got to be careful with your thumb on these. Quite a lot of tension. Just press the button. Looks like a umbrella type design. And then just drag all the key points together. Bring them all to one point, up to your power zone, as they say, and then carefully okay, feels dry to me. Okay, it applies to wild camping. It's a well-known phrase, leave no trace, and I believe it also applies to when you go to a campsite as well. Not only is it respectful for the landowners, the fact that you've left no rubbish behind, no pegs protruding, which could potentially damage somebody else's tent if they decide to pitch right here, but it's also a peace of mind for you. You don't want to be going like 5-10 miles down the road and thinking, did I put everything in the car? Have I got absolutely everything? Well, the fact of the matter is, I pitched here. Apart from going to the toilets and back, I've not been anywhere. So if it's not here, it's got to be in the car. So it's peace of mind for me. So please leave no trace. Be respectful of other people when you go to a campsite. Keep the noise down to a minimum. Everyone's here to enjoy the views just as much as you are. So there we go. If you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help the channel moving forward, and I want to visit many more campsites in the future. I want to do more things like this, and the last 5-6 weeks I've done 5 campsites. I wanted to do it predominantly in May and into June, because obviously when the kids break up, places like this is going to be absolutely packed. So yeah, it's nice to get a big bulk of camping done before all hell breaks loose. Yeah, I'm really excited. I love my camping. I love it now more than I've ever loved it. So please consider subscribing if you want to see those videos in the future. And I want to thank you very much for watching. I'm now off to the village of Buxton, so I'll leave you with those images of Buxton. I've never been there before. I'm not exactly sure what to expect, but we shall see. But I want to thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and if you're going camping, stay safe, be respectful of the other people that are on your campsite, keep noise down to a minimum if possible, and enjoy, because that's what it's all about. Take care.